Hey everybody, The Great Escape here, and welcome to another episode, or a technical episode here on our Minecraft channel. So if you watched the last Let's Play, you'll know that I am in the process of building something pretty massive. And I've decided to construct about 99% of it, or 95% of it, out of concrete, which is a pain in the butt to get, because you have to make your concrete, then you have to place it, get it wet, pull it back up, and you can lay it all out and flood it, but when you're trying to build something like this that doesn't have any supports, it can be a little bit more difficult. So, I've taken to doing things like building giant water columns and things to, there we go, giant water columns that I can place my concrete in and then tear it all down, but this is so slow. So I thought I would do a technical episode today on various different ways to mine concrete, and this might be the first in a series of videos based off of some of your suggestions of what are those boring tasks in Minecraft that you have to do in order to do something cool like this, and what's some ways to, if we can't automate it, because you can't automate concrete production and gathering, if you can't automate it, what are some ways that you can do it that are either fun or interesting or cool? So I've got, I think, 5 suggestions today. So let's go ahead and pop into a testing world and get started. So here we are in our testing world, and strategy number 1, which was kind of the first one I tried, is to simply kind of do a giant, as tall as you can build, pillar of concrete that's 4 like this, and then just drop your water in like so, and then go down. I'm not getting any drops because I'm in creative. But the problem with this one, of course, is you'd have to keep climbing back up each time. But I built a scaffolding tower on this part right here, and then I would just climb back up, and it took forever. And then go back down on the other side. So that's, method number 1, and it's fairly efficient. It takes some time to place all of the sand, but you get 4 at a time, and that works pretty well. But it's not very technical and not very fun, so let's try another method. All right, so method number 2 is the giant container of water. The benefit of this one is the moment you place your concrete, it immediately turns into concrete powder. It immediately turns into concrete. So you can just go ahead and place everything like this. And with the added bonus of water, anything that you do mine will just float to the surface, and you can just go collect it, but it does kind of spread around everywhere and does everything. Now, initially I thought, well, what if I did this and I tried it with a little bit of different method, but I'm going to switch over to survival and show you that my other method maybe didn't work so well. Notice that I have the effects of a conduit. It's right there underneath that thing. But if I go ahead and mine all these, you'll see the concrete comes out. Some of it you collect, some of it goes up to the top. Pretty effective method. And I thought this works pretty well. Let's see. Let's get to an area. Okay. And then I was like, well, I've got all this concrete up here. What if I did something like this with the magma blocks underneath it, and it would automatically, you see all that, it would just suck anything down that got caught into it. So once you mined everything, the magma would suck it down. The only problem with that is you have to crouch walk on it, or you die. Oh no, that's terrible. All right, so this method, okay, I recommend the tub of water method, but maybe not the magma blocks. Let's try the next one. All right, so method number 3 looks a little prettier, and it requires you to kind of know what you're placing or doing, whatever. And you could automate this by putting a dispenser here or things. But notice I've got the concrete powder here, and all I have to do is drop water there, and it will perfectly turn everything underneath that into concrete. So then we'll just take out the water. Nope, that's the wrong spot. We'll take out the water. And now we have our concrete. So we just need to go around and collect it like so. And then just place it back within your bounds, and it's a pretty efficient way to collect the concrete that you need. And you can replace these stone things with obsidian, and they're a little bit harder to dig up, and then you wouldn't be worried about digging up your area. But that's a pretty efficient and simple method. Not too creative, but efficient and simple. All right, next one. All right, method number 4. If you've seen my farm that I've constructed for plants, or for carrots and wheat and all that kind of stuff, you'll recognize this design. It's pretty simple. But instead of planting crops, I've instead planted concrete. So just like that, I've run a line of dispensers along the back with some redstone, and I press this button, and presto changeo. Now we have concrete. So all I've got to do is go in here, let's go back to creative, and dig up my concrete and do that. Now the added bonus here is that pretty much each run of this is almost one complete stack of concrete. So out of this thing you get roughly 3 blocks of concrete, and it doesn't take too long, and it's a little bit more technical and a little bit more kind of interesting or fun to use, but it's not the ultimate in concrete creation. So let's go ahead and move on to our final design. There's a cat somewhere. I don't know where it is. Anyways, with a panda watching. So here it is. This is our final, most interesting and dramatic way of mining concrete. Here we got a pretty simple wall of pistons here. This weird thing with the redstone lines not traveling up half slabs is really bothering me. But anyway, so we've got redstone lines here, and we've got some wiring, and it's not very pretty, but oh, there he is. It's not very pretty, but it is efficient. So notice we have an observer here. So let me grab some concrete powder. There we go. Well, let's actually make it a different color since I already have some in the system. Let's go with blue. All right, so all I've got to do to get the system going, and you can kind of see I've already mined out a little bit of the concrete that was already in here, is stand right here and boom. Oh. Oh. There we go. Now, unfortunately, you can't AFK here because if you hold the button, it'll push back. But all I've got to do is stand here, and each time that piston pulls back, I hit the place. It turns the concrete concrete powder into concrete, and it pushes it across. And then it puts it in a neat little line and does all of those things that you want to do. So it kind of ends up looking like this. And let me go ahead and stop the system really quick. Now, so here we end up with our neat little line. It's creating it across here. And I've set it up with some immovable objects up here that it will only go 5 blocks tall. So what we end up with is, or 6 blocks tall. So what you end up with is 6 blocks tall of concrete, and then it's whatever, 12 blocks long. So, which is the perfect length, because if you come, let's see, where's the tallest one? Right here. If I come in here like this, I can still break the very top blocks. So it's the exact right number of blocks for you to just kind of walk down through here and mine up like this, and pretty simple. And this is something like over, I don't even know, I don't want to do the math, but it's whatever, 12 across, 12 long, so that's 144 blocks in one level, and then 6 levels tall. So you're looking at almost 1,000 blocks, 700 something blocks of concrete going in here. And it is a little bit of a pain just for this part, where you have to sit here and do this. But it's kind of mindless. And it's a lot more technical and fun. So it's pretty simple to build and pretty simple to construct. The big thing is just making sure you get those timings down on your pistons, because you've got this piston that needs to push, and then these pistons here need to push after it, and then these pistons up here need to push after those. So you get kind of like a boom, 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 boom. And you mess around with the timings and things like that to get it in order, and it works pretty well. Now, so there's 5 methods for creating and mining concretes that'll make it a little bit more interesting than simply, doing whatever we do to mine concrete. So what are some methods that you use to do this mundane task of gathering all the concrete that you need to build your dramatic structures? And the big thing is, what's something else that's mundane in Minecraft that you want to see some cool, nifty, technical, or interesting ways to do it? Preferably things that don't always have a simple and automatic fix with redstone. Whoa, that's really close. All right, some simple automatic fix with redstone, but we'll see if we can get some redstone that will make it all happen. But thank you so much for joining me for this little video, as I'm going to go back to mining and gathering all the concrete I need to build my mega structure. This has been The Great Escape, and if you liked this video, please drop a like. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.